it's so much easier if you're an American. If you are probably a Western European, Australian, so many of these quote unquote first world developed countries. So let me tell you what she has to do. It's insane. Good afternoon from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. My name is Jesse. Thanks for watching my channel. I just returned from 2 months in Asia, and recently I did a video called Thinking About Moving to Asia, maybe thinking about retiring to Asia, rethink. And I was just kind of going over all the things you have to consider, all the obstacles, visa, medical, banking, so much that goes into moving to another country. And so this morning I was talking to my wife, Summer. Summer is Chinese, and we're planning this, we're going to France this summer. And for me, being an American citizen, I get 90 days in Schengen countries without a visa exempt, and all it takes is getting on the plane with a passport, and that's it. For her, oh my God, I'm gonna tell you what she's going through, because today she has a face-to-face interview with the French consulate people to approve her visa. But the main purpose of this video is basically to say, all the things I was talking about before are true in terms of there are complications and many things to consider, but it's so much easier if you're an American. If you are probably a Western European, Australian, so many of these quote unquote first world developed countries. So let me tell you what she has to do. It's insane. Mind you, we're not talking about moving to France. We're talking about a 9-day holiday in France this summer. So what she has to bring to the visa consulate, it's actually not a visa consulate in Wuhan, China, it's a visa office in Wuhan, which she's very fortunate that there is one, otherwise she'd have to go to another city. I remember when she got a work visa, I forget what number it was, in Raleigh, North Carolina, when she was teaching in a high school there. She had to, among other things, take a 10-hour train to Beijing, wait in line at the United States Embassy, and do a face-to-face interview with them, and in addition to all the paperwork. So here for France, yeah, she has to do a face-to-face interview. But the crazy thing is all the documents that she has to provide. Well, in addition to filling out the visa application, she had to get some stuff from her school where she works. The school had to type up a letter saying she is working here, she's a teacher, this is her salary. We will keep the job open for her when she returns. We're not going to fire her or anything like that. The school had to provide some kind of proof that they are a government-approved school in China. I guess it's something that they do all the time, but yeah, it's just craziness. In addition to that, she has to fill out a detailed itinerary of what's going to happen. She needed the hotel receipts, the airline receipts. She needed to, of course, pay about $140 for a visa. Oh my God, I'm at a dead end. Let me, I guess turn around. Where was I? And I'm probably forgetting some things. She also had to provide personal information, um, how much money she has in the bank, provide those documents, a detailed transaction of all her purchases and deposits for the last 6 months. Mind you, this is for a 9-day holiday. This is not for moving there. So she's telling me this morning, okay, so I paid 5 RMB for the subway yesterday, I notice. She's looking at all her transactions. 5 the other day, she paid, 28 for lunch. It's really a lot. Of course, she had to get travel insurance. Did I say that she had to provide our marriage certificate? And she had to provide our marriage certificate. I'm forgetting other things. It's just a reminder of how good Americans and other Western countries have it in this. I remember years ago when I quit my job and went traveling for 6 months. I think I went to about 20 countries and only needed visas in like 2 or 3 of them. And then the visas were, they were simple to get. You didn't need all this financial information. Certainly didn't need permission. I do remember the first time I went to China as a tourist. At that time, I was a journalist. And in the application process for the visa, they told me, can you write a letter promising that you will not practice journalism while you're here? And so, yeah, I had to write a letter saying that I'm just going for tourism purposes only, not going to practice any journalism. Yeah, if you're Chinese, if you're from China, and I'm sure many other countries, there's just a lot of paperwork printed out in duplicate. In contrast, these past couple of months, when I was in Thailand and China, Thailand is just a visa exemption. You just show up with your passport. You get 60 free days without a visa. In China, I had to get a tourist visa. I've already gotten that tourist visa, so that's all done. You just fly in. I did have to check in with my local policewoman in Wuhan, China, since I was staying at our apartment in Wuhan. But other than that, piece of cake. That all said, I want to talk a little about the attitude of the Chinese, because many of my students, family members over the years have visited abroad and gone through this. And there's something in I don't know if it's just an attitude of, sure, I'll do this, or it's just they get beaten down so many years of having to do this that they don't do the complaining. They kind of do the laughing, showing all the paperwork that they have to do, and it's like, oh my God, but it's almost kind of a quiet brag of, I'm going to another country. By the way, if you are thinking that Americans will need something more than this visa-free system to go to Europe anymore, that is correct. There's something called the ETIAS, ETIAS. Let me explain it. The ETIAS, or European Travel Information and Authorization System, nice name, and I'm sure I'm not pronouncing ETS right, is an online system that was supposed to be in place already. Was supposed to start this, January this year, but it keeps being pushed back like these things always are. And Summer and I will go in the end of June, early July, and it's not going to be ready by then. So I'm still on the old visa exempt system, 90 days in the Schengen zone, and that's wonderful. But even when they get the online system, it is not going to be invasive like Summer is going through right now. It's just basically fill out information, upload a couple, passport and documents, and yeah, they're not taking a deep dive into your bank account. So I've got it made. The only challenge I'll have, and this is not really going to be a challenge at all, is to not check any baggages when I go to Europe, because I've got I got a cheap flight. It was about $800 to Paris, which for peak season is pretty amazing, on Aer Lingus, and there are huge baggage restrictions, so got to avoid that. The reason I'm bringing that up is I was just thinking about my recent trip from Wuhan to Bangkok, Thailand, and I had to take a different flight. Let me get to the baggage. The baggage thing was that I had this small carry-on with wheels, and the wheels put it over the size limit. They're getting really strict on many airlines, and so you really have to be careful. So I'm going to leave this wheeled suitcase and just take my backpack, as I always do. Also on that flight, this was what really annoyed me, is that they canceled my flight, which was a midday flight from Wuhan to Bangkok, and I was rescheduled on a late night flight, which means I basically miss a whole day, have to take a taxi instead of the cheap public transportation when I got there. And the thing is, they canceled it, I'm sure, because of all the all the lack, how do I put this? All the recent lack of Chinese travelers to Thailand after some of these, there was a kidnapping, there were other, thefts and schemes and stuff going on. So it's really hurting Thailand tourism from Chinese. Yeah, I guess that's really my point. All right, and with that, I think I'm going to end this video. I want to thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If you liked this video, please don't forget to press the like button and drop a comment below. Also, down in the description, I am going to leave a link to that video I did a couple weeks ago about retiring in Asia. Yeah, so drop a comment below, and finally, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, subscribe. Till next time, take it easy. Bye.